Local 7 and 103.7 WTIB present Talk of the Town with Henry Hinton. News, sports, and community information, and everything that's going on around town. Now, with Talk of the Town, here's your host, Henry Hinton.
Hang on a second, I'll be right with you. I'm in hand-to-hand combat with my email program.
Who's winning?
It's winning.
Typically does.
Why is it? I'm trying to send an email I'm just trying to respond to an email from a friend of mine in Raleigh. And when I hit it, it goes, "You have reached a limit for sending mail." There's a limit to the number of different people I can send mail to? Oh, are we on the air? Excuse me.
Your sent box is probably
I think so.
674
All right, welcome in.
emails.
5 minutes after 8 o'clock, Thursday morning, March the 20th. We've been promoting Tom Eamon coming up. I'm very excited about having Tom Eamon on. The new book is called The Making of a Southern Democracy, North Carolina Politics from Carr Scott to Pat McCrory. And I don't know if everybody gets as excited about this stuff as I do, but I'm a fan of North Carolina politics. And, if you think about where we've been in this state from, and Dr. Eamon goes all the way back to Carr Scott. The subtitle is North Carolina Politics from Carr Scott to Pat McCrory. I've not had a chance to read the book yet, but I'm going to read it. And Tom Eamon, a professor at ECU, political science professor, has written this book. It's getting rave reviews across the state, but he has not had a book signing in Greenville until today. And I just asked him, we confirmed it is going to be 5 o'clock tonight, 5 to 7. It's a floating affair. It's a wine tasting and book signing at Jefferson's. So you can get over there anytime between 5 and 7. You don't have to be the whole time. You can come at 6. You can come at 6:30. You can come at 5. And be there for the book signing today. But we're going to do the interview with Tom Eamon coming up in just a couple of minutes. Trent McGee is here. A lot of sports to talk about. Good morning, McGee.
Good morning. I'm happy. It's
March Madness. Any of the ACC teams play last night?
No.
Tonight?
Tonight, yes.
Who plays tonight?
Yes, Syracuse, NC State, and Pitt are all in action tonight.
All right. Carolina plays tomorrow?
Carolina tomorrow, along with Duke tomorrow, Virginia tomorrow.
Right. Okay. So March Madness is here. Heather King is here.
Good morning.
From WITN. Good morning, Heather. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Have you filled out your brackets?
I filled it out in like 4 minutes last night because I was ready to go to bed, and my husband said, "Your bracket," and so I filled it out very quickly with no research at all.
Are you involved in illegal gambling like everybody else is? I mean, this is the only time of the year where
and it's okay if you
the FBI, the SBI, Greenville Police, Pitt County, they allow you to gamble.
It's okay, yeah.
It's legal to gamble during March Madness, I think, because everybody has a poll in their office.
Everybody
Certainly.
does.
You have to.
It's kind of fun. I haven't entered one in our office. If I did, I might have missed it. But my husband and I have just bragging rights, so we try to win our own pool.
My wife and I have
here's a money raising idea for the guy. They should tax those polls.
No,
there should be a tax.
Can you imagine how much money they make if they did that?
They would make a lot of money, but
all over the place for this.
Yeah.
Zip. I love that.
So who are your top 4?
All right, so I've got Florida, Michigan State, Michigan, and Arizona.
Sounds a lot like Obama's brackets.
Yeah.
Didn't he pick Michigan State to win it
to
all
beat Louisville in the
yesterday?
championship.
Yeah. What do you think?
I have Louisville in winning the national title.
It's sad. My daughter called me last night because every year she calls me and we go over the bracket because she gets involved in she's a nurse and she gets involved in illegal gambling as well at this time of year. And they have a pool in her on her unit at the hospital in Charleston. And she called me last night and she says, "Okay, Dad, I got my brackets. We got to, I'm like, I'm like, you got to call your brother. I got nothing this year.
No.
I haven't paid attention. I'm too busy. I don't care."
Did you fill out a bracket?
Yeah. I did not.
Oh,
I love it.
There's still time.
I do that one that's the big one in town. That there's a big one in town.
Pot Seekers?
The Pot Seekers one.
So you're in that this year?
I'm not in it.
Oh.
McGee wins it, or McGee or his brother in Raleigh win it every year.
You should
I think
get
they
in that.
fix it somehow.
My wife's in that this year.
Everybody gets in that.
It's McGee heavy this year.
There could be enough money in that the SBI actually takes note this year, McGee. So be careful.
Of that, I'm going to drop out of that.
But it's like $20 or something. Here's the thing:
it's $20.
I would rather just give $20 more to my church.
Now I feel good about doing the pop pickers bracket. Jeez.
That was a real slap
all of my brackets have been $20.
I didn't really mean to make you feel bad, but I mean seriously. I mean I just give money to you every year. I just rather give you the 20.
Look, Hank's been in there too. Hank's been in the top 3 like 2 or 3 years. He's winning.
Never win that. You know, it's here's what happens every year. I get in that thing. I put my $20 in, and then seriously, like Thursday night. When I'm not going to call the guy's name who runs that thing, but when he sends out the standings, I'm already out. After like one round, I'm out.
No, it's hard. When you have a bad first day, it really takes the fun out of it.
Yeah, it does. It hurts.
Real
It stings.
fast.
You know,
It stings.
I could have sworn Canisius was going to beat Florida.
There's got to be an upset. Why wasn't it that one?
I thought surely Holy Cross would beat Duke. I mean, I don't get it. I've lost my.
What? American didn't win?
I'm just glad my alma mater's not in it this year because I'll always push them further than they
Which
should
is Missouri?
go. Missouri. I mean, they're
Mizzou didn't make it.
NIT,
This year.
though. They're in the NIT.
I know, but that it's unworthy.
It's a consolation prize.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it.
All right, we got to move things along this morning because we got a lot going on. Again, if you haven't been to our new website, greenvilleheadlines.com, this morning we're featuring actually a new column by me. They put my picture on there, which that's a little spooky to see that, but we got some new stories on greenvilleheadlines.com. Again, never a paywall, and you never have to pay, you never have to subscribe. It's always free, greenvilleheadlines.com. And I've got a column on there this morning entitled, What's the Rush on the 4 Unrelated Issue? This is the issue that the Planning and Zoning Commission passed on Tuesday night. I'm not saying they shouldn't change the ordinance back to 3 unrelated from 4. I'm just saying they ought to wait a year and get some data first before they launch into it. So if you want to read that and make we have a comment. Somebody's already made a comment on here. So read the column and comment on it. Also some other news stories on there. We have a story this morning about yesterday's interview with Governor McCrory and his response to our local Senator Lewis Pate. Also, some sports. East Carolina baseball last night losing, and the women losing in the NIT. So there you go. All right, 11 after. Let's get news in. Heather King is here. We have a very busy hour, including our big interview with Tom Eamon coming up about the new political book here in North Carolina. But first, to the news desk from WITN. Here's Heather King. Good morning, Heather.
Good morning, Henry. Good morning, everyone. It is 8:11 on this first day of spring Thursday. Here are your WITN News headlines. Mediation is scheduled to begin today between Vidant Health and the NAACP over the looming shutdown of Vidant Pungo Hospital in Belhaven and Beaufort County. The civil rights group filed a Title VI complaint to stop the closure, which Vidant has slated for April 1st. The U.S. Justice Department offered to host this mediation, and it comes on the heels of the Beaufort County Board of Commissioners offering $2 million, if specific conditions are met, to the effort to save the hospital in Belhaven, which serves parts of Beaufort and Hyde counties. The Wake County Sheriff says 6 detention officers are no longer on the job as the result of the investigation into inappropriate relationships with inmates. Sheriff Donnie Harrison says one officer resigned March 3rd after an internal investigation concluded she violated the office fraternization policy. That policy prohibits jail employees from having any kind of relationship with inmates outside the scope of their jobs. He says the investigation into that officer's relationship with Amanda Hayes led to the firing a few days later of 5 other detention center officers for similar behavior with other inmates. Hayes was convicted last month of second-degree murder in the death of her husband's ex-girlfriend, Laura Ackerson of Kinston. 2 arrests have been made in a handful of break-ins in one local neighborhood. Greenville police say juvenile petitions have been filed against one suspect, while 2 adults have been charged already. A third is being sought. Police have so far charged 16-year-olds Taquan Rogers and Shamir White in these burglaries while they continue their search for 17-year-old Zakiel Chance. Greenville police say these break-ins happened this month and last in the Spring Forest, Lake Ellsworth area of Greenville. In each case, the burglars used force to break through a door and stole electronics, cash, clothing, and jewelry. Attorney General Roy Cooper kicked off a competition aimed at warning people about the dangers of prescription drug abuse in Eastern Carolina Wednesday. Cooper spoke to students at North Pitt High School, but it was a local mom who had students hanging on her every word and warning. Shannon Ruiz's 16-year-old daughter, Caitlin, died nearly 3 years ago. Ruiz says Caitlin abused Xanax and fentanyl after a knee injury. Ruiz told students her daughter was an A student who was a competitive cheerleader and wanted to one day be a cardiologist. Ruiz says she's carrying on her daughter's memory by talking to students about the dangers of prescription drugs. Students are now being asked to be an advocate as well. Any North Carolina high school student can participate in a competition by creating a brief public service announcement video against teen prescription drug abuse and submitting it by April 15th. Those are your WITN News headlines. I'm Heather King.
Yes, you are.
Yes,
Thank you very
I am.
much. Now, so that some Wake County female deputy sheriffs who are running the jail
Correct.
fired because of an inappropriate relationship with a lady involved in the Kinston murder.
Right. Well, apparently the investigation started with one detention officer who was found by this investigation to be having an inappropriate friendly relationship with Amanda Hayes, who was just convicted in the second-degree murder of Laura Ackerson of Kinston. That brutal murder where Grant Hayes was also convicted of first-degree murder and sent off last year.
This is the deal where the boyfriend and the girlfriend murder. I should say are convicted of murdering.
They're convicted of it.
We don't have to say alleged anymore because they are now convicted of murdering.
And they were married.
The wife.
Hayes were married, but it was the mother of his two sons that died.
Right.
So apparently they had this inappropriate relationship.
What was it? What was the nature of the? I mean,
it wasn't sexual, but it was.
So it was not sexual.
No, it was not
because
sexual.
when I saw that this morning, I was like, when you say inappropriate relationship,
Agreed.
people automatically start to think sexual.
That's true. And
They're just got too chummy with her. What was the deal?
The sheriff says there was no evidence the employees were having sex with inmates. So that is how that is phrased.
Well, that's certainly good to hear.
Yes, it is. But I think they were just, the one person testified that when Amanda Hayes was supposed to be on lockdown with all the other inmates, well, no, she was getting to hang out in this detention officer's office, or you're just getting, I guess the officers sometimes get, a weird infatuation with the prisoners.
That is strange.
Isn't that weird? Well, it's like women who write people on death row. It's just weird,
But they're deputy sheriffs, for crying out. They're jailers. So she got infatuated with somebody in the jail.
Yes, but then they found out that 5 others had other similar relationships with other inmates, and no one's got a job.
So there were 6 of them.
6 have lost their jobs.
So they fired all the women jailers in Wake County this morning. Good gracious.
Job openings.
There you go. It's an economic boom in Wake County. All right, thank you, Heather.
You're welcome.
All right, here's McGee with our weather update now.
Making my mind right. Partly cloudy
Control
skies
yourself, McGee.
for today with a high of 69 degrees.
Women in jail. McGee started shaking over here.
No, I just can't wrap my head around some of the things that go on. Certainly, that's it. Yeah, don't do that to me. Got clear skies for tonight. Lows in the upper 30s for your Friday. Mainly sunny skies with a high of 69 degrees. Partly cloudy for tomorrow night, giving way to cloudy skies overnight. Lows around 48. Sunshine for your Saturday with highs in the upper 70s. Chance of rain back in the forecast for Sunday with a high of 55 degrees.
All right, 17 after 8 o'clock. Again, coming up in just a couple of minutes. Tom Eamon, the author of the new book. It's a great book, and he's doing a book signing here in Greenville tonight. It's the history of North Carolina politics from Governor Carr Scott to our current mayor, current governor, former mayor, Pat McCrory. And the name of the book is The Making of a Southern Democracy. That's coming up. Stay with us. Be right back.
Many people in eastern North Carolina suffer from diabetes. The question is, can the disease be managed before it causes harm? Are there lifestyle changes that can help prevent it in the first place? And can a health system really make a difference? At Vidant Health, we are empowering people with tools and resources to detect and manage chronic disease. Can diabetes education and management help members of your family lead healthier lives? The answer is definitely yes.
Here is a track from Out of Sight.
Sorry.
Oh, hey, and check out that new look from Pepsi.
I don't know why, but today I feel a little bit different. I feel like I woke up this morning and I can change the world. I can change the world. I guess it's true, yeah.
At the law firm of Hardy & Hardy, we don't simply take cases. We take your case personally.
I've been in several car accidents, and each time I've turned to Hardy & Hardy for help. They are honest, hardworking, and dependable. I've been satisfied with the conclusion of each case, and I would recommend Wayne and Charles Hardy to my family and friends.
You matter to us.
Protecting the rights of the seriously injured. It's the #1 for everyone sales event going on now at Greenville Toyota. You've heard of 20% off at the mall and the big retail discount stores, but never before on Toyotas. Greenville Toyota announces up to 20% off MSRP on a huge selection of brand new Toyotas. Plus, get 0% financing on 9 new Toyota models, all with the Greenville Toyota Advantage. And we need your trade, so we'll pay you up to 120% of book value, guaranteed. Don't miss the #1 for everyone sales event with new Toyotas up to 20% off MSRP this month at Greenville Toyota.
Unlock the best life has to offer for generations to come. Introducing the Legacy Membership exclusively at Ironwood Golf and Country Club. As a Legacy member, you'll not only enjoy all the benefits of an active, family-friendly lifestyle, your children and grandchildren will enjoy membership status as well. Belonging to Ironwood is remarkable. Sharing it with your entire family is even better. Become a Legacy member today, only at Ironwood Golf and Country Club. Golf at its finest, life at its fullest.
When you're on the go, it's Trade Wilco. No matter where you go in Eastern Carolina, there's sure to be an attractive and always clean Trade Wilco Hess station nearby. For the absolute lowest prices on gas, groceries, and travel necessities, stop at any of the Trade Wilco Hess stations throughout Eastern Carolina. Keep your eyes on the road, but remember to look for the green and white Hess sign. The best part? No one supports the ECU Pirates more. So when you're on the go, it's Trade Wilco.
Okay, got that interview coming up on that new book about North Carolina politics. But first, there's a chance for you to win some cold, hard cash coming up here in the community. A week from Saturday, the State and House Fire Department's got their big Sportsman's Giveaway for the second year. And here to talk about that is the man, the myth, the legend from State and Firehouse, our buddy Clyde Naylor. How are you, Clyde?
I'm doing good.
Nice
Henry.
to see you. Clyde was Greenville's fireworks expert for many years. Used to actually be the guy that set off the fireworks down at the town common on 4th of July, right?
Did that for, probably 25 years.
But you don't do it anymore.
Nope, I retired.
Are you a volunteer fireman?
Yes, I am a volunteer fireman with State and House Fire Department.
And you guys did this last year, I remember it. But here's the deal. You're giving away 2 cash prizes, $10,000 and $5,000. More legalized gambling here in the community, folks. Here we go. So what's the deal? You can actually win $10,000 cash?
That's correct. We have a maximum of 2,500 tickets available. Top prize is $10,000 cash. Second prize is $5,000 cash. We have 15 $400 prizes, 14 guns, a hunting trip for 2, and a fishing trip for 2. Tickets are $20, a maximum of 2,500 tickets available. You can call us at 252-412-6075, or you can go to stateandhousefire.com, our website, and you can order via PayPal online if you like to do that.
And a Staton House, not state. People always make the mistake of putting the I like station, but it's Staton.
That's correct.
Staton House Fire.
Staton House.
So what's the website again?
www.statonhousefire.com, STATON housefire.com.
All right, and for those who don't know where the State House Fire Department is, you guys are located out, I guess that would be north of town, out toward Bethel, right? Just
yes,
as you get out around the Burroughs, the old Burroughs Welcome, Catalytica, DS, what are they calling it now? DSM area.
DSM. Yeah. We are north of the river. We encompass the industrial park area and go towards Bethel all the way out towards North Pitt High School, and then over towards 903. That's our area.
All right, so again, the drawing will be Saturday, April 5th, a week from this coming Saturday. Do you have to be present to win?
Do not have to be present to win.
But you're doing it at the fairgrounds, right?
We're doing it at the fairgrounds. When you buy a ticket, you are able to come to the fairgrounds. The gates open at 1 o'clock. The drawings start at 2. We draw a ticket every 5 minutes, and we have free food. If you are a ticket holder, you get free hamburgers, hot dogs, barbecue sandwiches, drinks, water, whatever.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
It is. It's a lot of fun.
And
really
you're only going to sell 2,500 of these, and they're $20 a piece.
That is correct.
And we should say, I was joking about legalized gambling, but it is legal for nonprofit organizations to have a raffle like this these days.
That's correct. Yes, sir.
In the old days, they wouldn't let you do it, but now that the state allows it for the education lottery, now you can have a raffle like this.
I'll take your word on the old days.
Oh, I get it. a reference to my age. Very good, Clyde. Well, the interview's over now.
You haven't bought your ticket yet.
Well, we'll see. We'll see after that comment. I don't know.
I'm sorry.
All right, so there are 33 different drawings and everything from shotguns all the way up to the grand prize of $10,000 cash.
That is correct.
All right, very good. Anything else we need to know?
Not that I know of.
Well, thank you for all you do. It's just a great way to raise money. And how much did y'all raise last year with this, by the way?
I'm not exactly sure. We raised somewhere between $20,000 and $25,000.
Pretty good.
Off this. This is our 4th year, so we're looking forward to a good time.
We learned in the Greenville Community Forum last week that Greenville had to pay $1 million for a new fire truck.
Yep.
So it's amazing how much that stuff costs. And
we have one coming in about 3 weeks. It's about $240,000.
That's amazing, isn't it?
No equipment. That's just the truck.
Wow. Unbelievable.
So,
all right, Clyde, thank you much. Again, the website is StatenHouseFire.com.
That's correct.
And the drawing is coming up on Saturday, April 5th at the fairground, and you could win $10,000 cash or one of the other 32 prizes. All right.
That is true.
Good to see you, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you. Clyde Naylor with Staten House Fire Department. All right, next, our interview with Tom Eamon from the new book, The Making of a Southern Democracy. I'm really excited about interviewing Tom Eamon. This is going to be a big hit, and, of course, he's going to be in town tonight signing the book at Jefferson's from 5 to 7. That's coming up right after this.
Stallings Mobile and Mini Storage Company will deliver a storage unit to your home or business today. Stallings Storage is the only local company providing mobile storage units 8x15 or 8x10 delivered to your site. If you are remodeling your home or office or need to store merchandise and inventory at your business, you need to call Stallings Mobile and Mini Storage. We deliver, pick up, and store it for you. It's that easy, and there's no need to send your business out of town when your mobile storage needs can be met right here with people you know. Stallings Mobile and Mini Storage is located in Pitt County on Beast Oaks Road. It's a well-secured facility with a living manager. Fixed units range from 5 feet by 10 feet to 40 feet by 40 feet. We store boats, cars, anything you need. We are pirate supporting pirates. Call Stallings Mobile and Mini Storage today at 321-2300. That's 321-2300.
It's the #1 for everyone sales event going on now at Greenville Toyota. You've heard of 20% off at the mall and the big retail discount stores, but never before on Toyotas. Greenville Toyota announces up to 20% off MSRP on a huge selection of brand new Toyotas. Plus, get 0% financing on 9 new Toyota models, all with the Greenville Toyota Advantage. And we need your trade, so we'll pay you up to 120% of book value, guaranteed. Don't miss the #1 for everyone sales event with new Toyotas up to 20% off MSRP this month at Greenville Toyota.
Unlock the best life has to offer for generations to come. Introducing the Legacy Membership exclusively at Ironwood Golf and Country Club. As a Legacy member, you'll not only enjoy all the benefits of an active, family-friendly lifestyle, your children and grandchildren will enjoy membership status as well. Belonging to Ironwood is remarkable. Sharing it with your entire family is even better. Become a Legacy member today, only at Ironwood Golf and Country Club. Golf at its finest, life at its fullest.
From Out of Sight.
Sorry.
Oh, hey, and check out that new look from Pepsi.
I don't know why, but today I feel a little bit different. I feel like I woke up this morning and I can change the world. I can change the world. I guess it's true, yeah.
At the law firm of Hardy & Hardy, we don't simply take cases. We take your case personally.
I've been in several car accidents, and each time I've turned to Hardy & Hardy for help. They are honest, hardworking, and dependable. I've been satisfied with the conclusion of each case, and I would recommend Wayne and Charles Hardy to my family and friends.
You matter to us.
Protecting the rights of the seriously injured.
I have been looking forward to this interview for a long time. Tom Eamon, Dr. Tom Eamon, although he says he wants us just to call him Tom. Tom Eamon has written a brand new book. He's a longtime professor of political science at ECU. The name of the book is The Making of a Southern Democracy, subtitle, North Carolina Politics from Carr Scott to Pat McCrory. He's going to be in town tonight signing books at a book signing and wine tasting tonight, March the 20th, Thursday, March the 20th, at Jefferson's in downtown Greenville. Please welcome to Talk of the Town, Tom Eamon. Good morning, sir.
I'm really delighted to be with you, Henry. You have a great interview style, and it's a real privilege to be on your program.
Well, it's a privilege to have you here.
Might mention the people at Jefferson's. They're delightful people. They're not a bookstore as such. They sell everything but books, just about. But they're going to be having the book tonight, and of course, the book has been available in other stores in the Greenville area. But we'll be at Jefferson's, and it is a wine tasting. But I go in there to buy chocolate quite a lot, and so they have told me they're going to have chocolate also.
They have a lot of good chocolate
this evening.
They have a lot of great delicacies down there, so that's a great spot, and I know you'll have a good crowd tonight. Let's talk about the book. The book is about North Carolina politics and the history that goes back to Carr Scott. And Carr Scott was a governor what years?
He was elected in 1948, and back then governors were limited to one term, and so he was inaugurated in January of 1949 and served for 4 years.
So you cover the era from then till the late 40s to the current day where Pat McCrory was elected.
Absolutely. Have a little bit in the prologue about the earlier period going way back to 1900, but it's mainly from 1948 to now.
You know, it's interesting. This year, the country will be focused on North Carolina because of the Senate race. They say this is going to be the most expensive Senate race, U.S. Senate race in the country this year.
Then, of course, we have Clay Aiken running.
Yeah, exactly. You got Clay Aiken running for Congress as well. So there have been some interesting characters over the year. But North Carolina has a very storied political history. I mean, when you think back through history, you think about names like Terry Sanford and Jesse Helms. We've had John Edwards here. I mean, we've got a pretty large political history here.
We certainly do.
Yeah,
no question about it.
So tell what was the most interesting thing that you learned in researching the book and writing the book?
Henry, it's really interesting. Some of us in my field think we know a whole lot, but when we're writing a book, we find out how much we did not know that we thought we did know. And I think there are many, many answers one could give to your question, but when one actually looks at someone as a personality, and something I tried to do was to capture the flavor of the times and to capture the flavor and personalities of the people that I was writing about. And again, some of them come across quite differently in private than in public. A fascinating figure is Jesse Helms.
Yeah.
And as you know, people either loved him or loathed him in a number of cases. And he was certainly one who would take a stand. His slogan was, "You know where he stands." And normally one did know where he would stand, but he also, although he was most definitely a conservative and had a major, major influence in pushing the country and the Republican Party in a more conservative direction on certain social issues especially, he was also one who, just as an individual, one-on-one basis, was an extremely friendly, cordial individual. And something fascinating to me was in the background, some of the friendships he struck up with people like Paul Wellstone from Minnesota, who would be killed in an airline crash later on.
I remember that.
And was very liberal. If Jesse Helms was the most conservative member of the Senate, Paul Wellstone was the most liberal.
But they were friends?
And they got to be friends, that's right. And before going into the Senate, Paul Wellstone said the thing that he dreaded most about being there was being in the same room with Jesse Helms. And then they got to be really good friends. Not politically, but on a personal basis.
What was the reason for their friendship? That's interesting. How did their friendship develop?
Well, they were both very friendly, outgoing individuals.
Yeah.
I was actually in graduate school with Wellstone.
Is that right?
So I knew him at that time, but they were both friendly, outgoing individuals. And I think also, perhaps after the comment that had been made, Wellstone, went out of his way to be friendly to Helms, and Helms was certainly one who reciprocated, and again, both within the state and outside, was able to build those bonds with particular individuals.
If Jesse Helms was the face of the Republican Party over that era that people remember the most, the face of the Democratic Party had to be Jim Hunt.
Yes, at least during the last third of the 20th century.
So Jim Hunt, and a lot of people feel that Jim Hunt was the reason. Yeah, a lot of southern states, am I right about this? A lot of southern states, Texas, South Carolina, other southern Tennessee, were going more conservative, going more Republican, especially during and right after the Reagan era. But North Carolina didn't. And the general feeling for all these years, Tom Eamon, has been that the reason for that was Jim Hunt had such a strong hold on the voters in North Carolina. Is that accurate, you think?
Jim Hunt was as skillful a politician, not only as North Carolina has ever seen, but I would say as the country has seen also. He was a great consensus builder in a lot of ways. He would compromise sometimes. He knew when to compromise, not to compromise. And whereas we can say that Helms was steadfastly conservative, Hunt was one who was harder to pin down in terms of ideology. He was certainly progressive in many respects. But
he was progressive, but he looked and sounded conservative to all the conservatives, does he not?
He did in many respects. And it was really funny when I was interviewing him and he was talking about the position a lot of liberals took toward compromise. And he actually made the comment, this is a direct comment, he said, the liberals just don't get it. Well, many conservatives, of course, considered Jim Hunt liberal, but he was really paranoid.
He said that to you when you were writing the book?
Yes,
that's
because in many cases, the people who were more liberal criticized him for making particular compromises that he did. But again, if Helms, certainly in his public persona, was more of a confrontational politician, Jim Hunt was more the consensus builder type politician.
And of course, Hunt and Helms met in a Senate race. What was that, 84?
1984.
84. Man, was that something. At that time, that was the most expensive United States Senate race we'd ever had.
In any state in the Union, not just in North Carolina, but in any state in the Union. And
of course, those of us who are old enough to remember it and who followed it, remember the Hunt-Helms Senate race, and it was brutal.
It was, and the ads also, some of the cleverest political ads that one has ever seen, I think.
Yeah.
And the Helms forces outdid the Hunt forces in terms of having ads that would appeal to individuals. And we've both agreed that Hunt was a great politician, but that was a disadvantage to some degree in 1984 because one of the techniques of the Helms campaign was to portray Jim Hunt as just a little bit too much of a politician and suggesting, well, maybe this man can't quite be trusted.
Yeah, exactly. I remember it well. Let's go back to before that era. Talk about Terry Sanford a little bit. Terry Sanford was an interesting North Carolina political figure. He was he had quite a liberal ideology, but was able to get elected in the early 70s when the state was, even the Democrats at that time were very conservative.
Right, or early 60s.
60s, right.
He was elected.
Was it 60s? Wow, I guess it was.
Getting back a ways. But he was elected, and the real election then, many would argue, was in the Democratic primary.
Yeah.
And his leading opponent was a man named I. Beverly Lake, who was a law professor at Wake Forest, or had been, and was a strong segregationist in a time when the great majority of North Carolinians who were white still favored segregation. But Terry Sanford was able to defeat him, and he ran on a program of quality education. And so that was his big issue. And Sanford, interestingly enough, Henry, was not an especially charismatic figure, even though today he's considered one of the great governors of all time. I've done this before, including on the radio, but I will perhaps strain your patience and just tell about a campaign ad, and then we
absolutely.
can mention his voice. But the one that he used most frequently had the theme, "There's a New Day Coming," and it went as follows, if you will pardon my singing. The man on the go for the state on the go, that's Terry Sanford. There's a new day coming, so for your next governor, vote for Terry Sanford. This is Tara Sanford. I believe that quality education is the most important issue facing the voters of North Carolina today. If you agree with me, vote for Tara Sanford in the upcoming primary. There's a new day coming, so for your next governor, vote for Terry Sanford. Well, he was not just oozing with charisma.
You got to get applause for that. You got to get applause for that. That was great. That was awesome.
He was one who, through just strategy, knowing people, was able to get a whole lot done in the area of education, and also he smoothed the way, helping the state make the transition from a very segregated place racially to moving toward a new society.
that was an interesting time, wasn't it?
It surely was.
And of course, John Kennedy was president.
Right.
And I don't know, do you cover in your book the trip that John Kennedy made to Greenville? Because you see the pictures when John Kennedy was campaigning here in Greenville in 1960. At the old football stadium here down on 10th Street. You see the pictures of he and Terry Sanford riding in the limousine together.
Yes. Here's something amazing about that election. You know, and probably a lot of the listeners know, but a lot of the younger ones perhaps would not, that John Kennedy was a Catholic. And at that time, the view was a Catholic could not win in this country, or it would be difficult. And North Carolina was an overwhelmingly Protestant state. But Kennedy campaigned hard here. Sanford campaigned hard for him. And North Carolina was close, but the area that really won North Carolina for him was eastern North Carolina. And Kennedy got, and it was a Democratic area then, but Kennedy got 68% of the vote in eastern North Carolina. He did better in eastern North Carolina than he did in his home state of Massachusetts,
really?
As a matter of fact.
How about that?
And there were few areas in the entire nation that voted any more strongly for Kennedy than eastern North Carolina did. I think part of it was that they considered the Democrats more sympathetic on tobacco issues, such as price supports that were important to the farmer. And also part of it was that Kennedy did really campaign hard in this area.
The name of the book is The Making of a Southern Democracy. Our guest is Tom Eamon. He is the author. And if you're watching TV there, you can see Tom Eamon's picture along with the cover of the book. Nice looking book. You got the cover of the state capitol building.
Right. UNC Press, I have to give credit for that. They're a great press.
Yeah.
And their people were the ones who designed the cover.
You sang the Terry Sanford song. You know who used to sing when Walter Dalton was running for governor? He used to sing the Nick Galifianakis song. Do you? I guess when Galifianakis was running against Jesse Helms, he had some sort of a song. And when Walter Dalton ran, you know, remember the commercial that he ran when he was running for lieutenant governor? Walter Dalton, Walter Dalton, Walter Dalton. He said that he got that idea from an old Nick Galifianakis.
Have you heard the Nick song?
Can you do that one?
Oh, I could.
Yeah,
yes.
I want to hear it. I think we need to hear you sing again.
Okay.
Here we go.
N stands for Nick Galifianakis. I is for his integrity. C stands for Congress. K is for keep him there. Send Nick back to Washington, D.C.
And Galifianakis, who, by the way, was Zach Galifianakis, the famous actor now.
That's correct.
That was his uncle, right?
Yes. Yeah. I know Nick Galifianakis, as a matter of fact, and once saw him in a restaurant, and just for the fun of it, I did a take on the song and said, well, his opponents, this was after he was in Congress, could have done a different one, and they could have had, just for the fun of it, N stands for Nick Galifianakis. I is for his incompetency. C stands for Congress. K's for kick him out. Kick Nick back to Durham, NC.
And Jesse Helms beat him pretty bad, as I recall, didn't he?
Yes, he did. And that was, of course, the rise of Jesse Helms in a
Yeah.
sense as a politician. In 1972, Nick Galifianakis was defeated by Jesse Helms.
Jesse had risen to fame by doing editorials on WRAL television.
Yes.
And that's how he got to be famous.
That's right. He had other positions, including a major position in the State Banking Association, but it was the editorials on WRAL that really got him well known. And a lot of people said, well, he's just too extreme. And Helms himself thought he was probably going to lose the race when he started out, but he ran in a good year. And Richard Nixon was running for re-election. People didn't know about Watergate then.
Yeah.
And he won by a landslide in the country and an even bigger landslide in the state. He got about 70% of the vote, and that was able to help not only Jesse Helms, who was a conservative Republican, but Jim Holshouser, who was a moderate Republican, was elected governor in that same year.
Yeah. We got. Can you hang on for a break?
Sure.
We got to get a commercial break in, but I want to talk more because I want to cover more of the modern era and get it all the way up to Pat McCrory here this morning. This is fascinating. I love this. This is one of my favorite interviews ever. Tom Eamon, The Making of a Southern Democracy, the name of the book. Tom Eamon will be signing this book tonight here in Greenville at Jefferson's from 5 to 7. If you want to copy the book, meet Dr. Eamon. He'll, I guess you'll personalize them tonight, right?
Indeed.
Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely. So make it down to Jefferson's tonight. Let's take a break, and we'll be right back with more, and we'll talk more about this great book, The Making of a Southern Democracy.
Stallings Mobile and Mini Storage Company will deliver a storage unit to your home or business today. Stallings Storage is the only local company providing mobile storage units 8x15 or 8x10 delivered to your site. If you are remodeling your home or office or need to store merchandise and inventory at your business, you need to call Stallings Mobile and Mini Storage. We deliver, pick up, and store it for you. It's that easy, and there's no need to send your business out of town when your mobile storage needs can be met right here with people you know. Stallings Mobile and Mini Storage is located in Pitt County on Beast Oaks Road. It's a well-secured facility with a live-in manager. Fixed units range from 5 feet by 10 feet to 40 feet by 40 feet. We store boats, cars, anything you need. We are pirate supporting pirates. Call Stallings Mobile and Mini Storage today at 321-2300. That's 321-2300.
It's the #1 for everyone sales event going on now at Greenville Toyota. You've heard of 20% off at the mall and the big retail discount stores, but never before on Toyotas. Greenville Toyota announces up to 20% off MSRP on a huge selection of brand new Toyotas. Plus, get 0% financing on 9 new Toyota models, all with the Greenville Toyota Advantage. And we need your trade, so we'll pay you up to 120% of book value, guaranteed. Don't miss the #1 for everyone sales event with new Toyotas up to 20% off MSRP this month at Greenville Toyota.
Unlock the best life has to offer for generations to come. Introducing the Legacy Membership exclusively at Ironwood Golf and Country Club. As a Legacy member, you'll not only enjoy all the benefits of an active, family-friendly lifestyle, your children and grandchildren will enjoy membership status as well. Belonging to Ironwood is remarkable. Sharing it with your entire family is even better. Become a Legacy member today, only at Ironwood Golf and Country Club. Golf at its finest, life at its fullest.
Sorry. Oh, hey, and check out that new look from Pepsi.
I don't know why, but today I feel a little bit different. I feel like I woke up this morning and I could change the world. I could change the world. I guess it's true.
At the law firm of Hardy & Hardy, we don't simply take cases. We take your case personally.
I've been in several car accidents, and each time I've turned to Hardy & Hardy for help. They are honest, hardworking, and dependable. I've been satisfied with the conclusion of each case, and I would recommend Wayne and Charles Hardy to my family and friends.
You matter to us.
Protecting the rights of the seriously injured.
Okay, welcome back. We are interviewing Dr. Tom Eamon this morning. Dr. Eamon is the author of The Making of a Southern Democracy. He's a political science professor at ECU. I've kind of known you from afar for years, but this is the first time I've had a chance to sit down and talk to you. I've always been told if you want to know anything about North Carolina politics, you got to talk to Tom Eamon. You and I have a lot of mutual friends, and in fact, we just found out that Trent McGee was one of your students.
He surely was.
And
a very distinguished one.
Well, I was going to say, he's claiming that he said he got no less than a B. Would you go back today and check your rolls and confirm that he got no less than a B? Because I don't believe that.
Well, you have more confidence in my record keeping than I do, but it's just that Trent made such a strong impression on me that I can say with confidence that he did well.
Yeah, he makes a strong impression. All right, let's talk about, we've talked about some of the, the 60s, some of the 70s. Let's come up through the modern era. In
many respects, the most interesting of all, too.
Yeah. The interesting thing about this book, I don't know how much you cover in the book, but the change in the mentality of the North Carolina voter. North Carolina was such a Democratic state. I talked about earlier, and I'm sure you cover the hold that everybody thinks Jim Hunt had on the state. But as we move forward, and other states are becoming more Republican, more of a red state, North Carolina has been slower to make that transition. Yet it seems like even the Democratic voters in North Carolina, the ones that they don't, some of them refuse still now to change their political affiliation. But it's a very conservative, for the most part, state, or maybe it just seems that way to me. What's the truth about that?
It's a state that's contradictory in a lot of ways, I would say, and you're absolutely right that during the Jim Hunt era, Mike Easley, that North Carolina had Democratic governors when many states were having Republican governors, and if you go way back, it was a solidly Democratic state. But something interesting is that on the presidential level, it broke from the Democrats a long time ago. And Nixon carried North Carolina in 1968, and then in 8 of 9 elections from then on, North Carolina went Republican for president. And then we have a situation in 2008 where Barack Obama, who is from Chicago and black, was the Democratic nominee for president.
And probably the most liberal member of the Senate.
And certainly much more liberal than the average member of the Senate. And he carried North Carolina by a very narrow margin, but he carried it. And then in 2012, he lost it, but it was the closest state of all that he did lose. It was still very close, and so it's odd that on the presidential level, unexplainable, I try to explain it in the book, but that in so many elections, North Carolina had been red in terms of presidential politics, and then the pattern was broken in 2008. And a lot of the explanation of that, I think, is what is happening in a lot of the urban areas of North Carolina. And you're right that much of North Carolina is conservative, but in a lot of the urban areas, not only are there more minority voters, but there are a lot of people moving in from states in the Northeast, in the upper Midwest, and California. And at one time, that meant more Republicans, but in recent years, as you know, those states have shifted in a very Democratic direction for president, at least. A lot of it on social issues, and just as, let's say, our Southern Baptists in North Carolina are conservative on social issues, there are a lot of people, including former moderate and liberal Republicans, who are more liberal on social issues, and they're moving into North Carolina, and that's having a big impact in places like Charlotte, Greensboro, Raleigh, Winston-Salem, and it was really the big urban areas that carried it for Obama. Like in 2008, when he carried North Carolina, it was just about 14,000 votes, but just in Mecklenburg County alone, the county of Charlotte, he won by 100,000 votes, and there were 8 counties in the state that more than accounted for his margin in the state.
And you have to kind of say that was the factor. That might have been the tipping point to push the state interestingly, back in the other direction, because then in 2010, the Republicans take over the State House. And that was a big deal because that was redistricting year,
yes.
right?
This is absolutely fascinating. Just as the Democrats are beginning to do better on the presidential level, the Republicans have greater control over state offices in the legislature than they've ever had. And Henry certainly hit the nail on the head that the Republicans were fortunate enough to win the 2010 elections. Now, for 100 years prior to that, the Democrats had controlled the state legislature at the time of the redistricting. And just in case some of the listeners aren't aware of this, the official reason for having a census every 10 years is so you can reapportion for Congress and now for legislative districts also. Well, the Democrats had been doing it for 100 years. And now in 2010, the Republicans win the legislature, so they get to do it. And in a sense, it's payback time.
Oh, yeah.
And so the Republicans certainly took advantage of the opportunity to pay back the Democrats for what they had been doing for the last 100 years and drew the districts in such a way that they would be favorable to
I can't believe this, but we're out of time. And we hadn't covered Mike Easley, Bev Perdue. We didn't get to anything about McCrory. You got to come back so we can do that.
Well, it's a great pleasure to be here and be glad to be with you anytime.
And you'll be tonight. You'll be signing the book tonight at Jefferson's 5 to 7. You'll be there. People can come down and get a book.
Have a chance to chat informally with people.
If you got questions that I didn't ask Tom Eamon, go tonight and ask him at Jefferson's. Good luck with the book. I hear the book's doing great, and I appreciate you finally coming on.
I'm really pleased with the reception, but special pleasure to be with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Tom Eamon, The Making of a Southern Democracy, North Carolina Politics, from Car Scott to Pat McCrory. Go down and get a book tonight and meet Tom at Jefferson's from 5 to 7 at the book signing and wine tasting and chocolate tasting.
Yes.
All right, we'll be right back. McGee's got sports coming up.
Welcome to Truck Month at East Carolina Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Lease the new 2014 Ram 1500 for just $199 a month. East Carolina Chrysler Dodge Jeep across from the Cracker Barrel in Greenville.
When you're on the go, it's Trade Wilco. No matter where you go in Eastern Carolina, there's sure to be an attractive and always clean Trade Wilco Hess station nearby. For the absolute lowest prices on gas, groceries, and travel necessities, stop at any of the Trade Wilco Hess stations throughout Eastern Carolina. Keep your eyes on the road, but remember to look for the green and white Hess sign. The best part? No one supports the ECU Pirates more. So when you're on the go, it's Trade Wilco.
Many people in eastern North Carolina suffer from diabetes. The question is, can the disease be managed before it causes harm? Are there lifestyle changes that can help prevent it in the first place? And can a health system really make a difference? At Vidant Health, we are empowering people with tools and resources to detect and manage chronic disease. Can diabetes education and management help members of your family lead healthier lives? The answer is definitely yes.
Sorry. Oh, hey, and check out that new look from Pepsi.
I don't know why, but today I feel a little bit different. I feel like I woke up this morning and I could change the world. I could change the world. I guess it's true, true, true.
Top Dog Academy is Eastern North Carolina's complete dog training facility. Top Dog provides an excellent environment for dogs of all ages with training services and work week daycare. Top Dog is located on Highway 43 South, just 4 miles from Bells Fork, and features a comfortable, healthy environment and a spacious facility for daycare and a brand new, beautiful facility for training. Call 752-8215 or visit TopDogOnline.com.
Come on out Highway 43 South to Top Dog Academy, where we know dogs.
Unlock the best life has to offer for generations to come. Introducing the Legacy Membership exclusively at Ironwood Golf and Country Club. As a Legacy member, you'll not only enjoy all the benefits of an active, family-friendly lifestyle, your children and grandchildren will enjoy membership status as well. Belonging to Ironwood is remarkable. Sharing it with your entire family is even better. Become a Legacy member today, only at Ironwood Golf and Country Club. Golf at its finest, life at its fullest.
Come see Eastern North Carolina's largest selection of Jeeps here at East Carolina Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Drive the all-new 2014 Jeep Grand Cherokee for just $349 a month. East Carolina Chrysler Dodge Jeep across from the Cracker Barrel in Greenville.
Talk of the town at, let's see, 2 minutes in front of 9 o'clock. Let's check some sports now. A lot going on in sports. Here's McGee on sports.
And the ECU's women's basketball team season officially ended Wednesday night with an 86-68 loss to George Washington in round one of the women's NIT. The Pirates finished 22-9 on the year. March Madness, the NCAA tournament officially tips off today. Dayton and Ohio State get things going at 12:15. The top overall seed, Florida, will take on Albany at 4:10. NC State and St. Louis tonight at 7:20 from Orlando. 16 games on the docket for today. In EC baseball, the Pirates fall to VCU 8-4. They're now 10-11 on the season. Back in action with a Conference USA series on the road this weekend in Charlotte. And Cam Newton's surgery on his ankle went pretty good. He should be back in time for training camp with the Panthers come late July.
All right, very good. It is about a minute now in front of 9 o'clock. Couple of reminders for you. Tomorrow morning we'll be out live at Rep Express. It's the annual American Red Cross Celebrity Waiters event. We'll be raising money for the Red Cross tomorrow morning. Please come out. Coach Ruffin McNeil, among many of the local celebrities who will be waiting on tables tomorrow morning. The food will be free. As always, the community buffet at Rep Express, always free. So come in and grab the community buffet, and just leave a tip with one of your celebrity waiters. Coach will be there. We got a lot of other celebrities from around the community. Lynette Taylor will be there. McGee might bring you some coffee and say, "You want some more, sweetie?" That kind of thing. And tonight, Dancing with the Stars. I'll have a recap for you on that tomorrow morning as well. The big fundraiser tonight for Pitt Community College's foundation. Everybody enjoy your Thursday. That's Talk of the Town for today. See you tomorrow.